That's Twitter news.
I think you'll like it. Yeah, you'll like that one.
What, the Donkey Kong stream?
Yeah.
Look at Jake. He's taking over the helm. He's hitting record. He's sitting in the big chair.
I feel like a
Are you proud of your son?
boss-ass bitch. Which is weird, because usually I get the title. You want to close that door? Just realize it's open. I might get an echo. Almost cool.
Ew, 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 ew.
Ew!
I never thought a door could sound gross.
That really was the epitome of gross, wasn't it? Oh, don't like that.
Thanks.
Nope, we're good.
I hate it.
I wonder if that picks up.
Oh, it probably will.
I hope it does.
It probably will.
Welcome to the Weekend Fan Club.
I'm sitting in John's chair.
Yep.
This is amazing, honestly. I understand why you sit here now.
They grow up so fast.
Yeah. As we were saying, I don't know if... Did we catch it in here? Maybe not. Usually in, like, my friend circles, I get the title of dad, but now I'm the son, and it's just...
Oh, that's
circle
a
of
lot
life,
Whole
man.
new world, huh?
It's a whole new world. I'm shifting focus on the Quinn.
Hey, what's up, man?
You're ordering our food, so shout out to you,
Yeah.
but, you know, because I'm a dickhead.
So,
I'm-
order the food. It's in there. It's on the way.
Nice. You're taking a... Oh, that didn't sound nice. This is why I don't sit here.
Day one in the chair.
It's the wall all over again.
An amateur.
Oh, oh, what a callback. What a good episode.
Yep.
What a good episode. So, Quinn, for our loyal 6 listeners, why are you taking a novel writing class? And when I say novel writing class, I don't mean it applies to your current academic pursuits.
No, it's just a class separate from all, what is it, systems of education.
Yeah.
Just a
So-
guy teaching a novel course.
Is this guy, like, even...
Is he a
remote?
writer?
Yeah, is he even
He
remotely successful?
runs a local publishing company
Oh.
that is like, I mean, based on the way he talked about it, sounds extremely legit and pretty significant for... He used the region of Atlantic Canada, so...
Oh, shit.
Okay,
That's
alright. I can respect that.
Yeah.
Because, I say this, not to, like, completely dunk on you, it's just, I was surprised that you didn't, like, YouTube this, or Google it, or, like, learn it yourself, because that seems to be your kind of mojo.
To
And I
learn
was-
on your own.
Yeah.
Not to go out and seek.
Professional help.
Yeah.
This is a much more constructed take to ask Quinn about than the earlier one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel,
absolutely.
I think that's just because we said, we should get a plan.
Yeah, we really did. I don't actually I don't usually turn to YouTube for educational things, unless it's like a spur-of-the-moment thing. Like, this is broken, how do I fix it, please help.
Right, okay.
And for this kind of thing, I did kind of want the option to, like, have back and forth with human people.
Right.
And be like, this is what I've written. What do you think? What do you think? Because the class is built around everybody giving feedback.
I mean, I would
Everybody's
imagine it would have to be. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
It sounds really fun.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Right, I'm just surprised like you found something like that, because I know for myself I probably wouldn't be able to like sleuth my way around to find something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I just saw a friend of mine was tweeting about writing a novel and was like signing up for courses at the beginning of the year, and I was like,
Ooh.
hey, do you want to talk novel writing one of these days? And they're like, yeah.
Okay.
And then we did that, and they were like, do this course, and I was like, sounds
See?
cool.
Twitter activity, man. Twitter's my least used social media because I feel like it's stupid because I have garbage followers.
I mean,
I try to make a lot of eye contact with John.
Fucking complained for months about not following you, and then I finally do, and you're like, my fucking followers are garbage.
suck.
Can you imagine if you were like a fucking, like, a super popular...
I wouldn't have that shitty take if
Can
I
you
did.
imagine? I have like 50
I have 15 million followers. They all suck.
Fucking garbage. What are you, Spoonie? Jesus Christ.
Ooh, this is interesting that I don't know about. Let's break that open. Who
That's-
the hell is Spoonie?
No, let's not go down this
Let's
road.
not go down
Let's
that
do
road.
it. You're just pushing me
think
down
of the
there.
past. Let's just
Yeah.
say that.
Cue the title theme. Cue the title theme.
Cue the title theme. Okay, put it in. Good job, Quinn.
Beep, 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 beep. I gotta stir around while the title theme's happening. Don't keep this self. Hey.
What, do you think that, like, we just keep talking and the title plays over us and then comes back?
That's horrible.
Yeah, I do that every time.
Oh.
What?
But I mean,
That's
like, the whole...
Oh, I thought you meant, like,
No.
the music is playing and
Yeah,
you can
you
still
faded
hear
it
us
out.
talking.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds fucking disgusting. Why would you do that?
We all just started critiquing how you volunteered to edit our podcast.
That's okay. I'm severely behind as we speak.
Okay, fair.
Fair enough.
You know what's also behind?
Hmm.
I don't know how I'm going to
The government
I
shutdown.
had a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And I
I was
fizzled.
really excited for you to stick the landing, and you immediately gave up.
I bailed.
Wow, I can't believe you shut them down like that. Just like the government shut down, am I right?
Nice!
That's how
For
you
a
bring it
whole
back.
month.
Yeah, 31 days.
A whole month without government.
I keep texting my friend. She lives in Minnesota, and I won't name names because I mean I feel like this is like the Hunger Games. She'll probably get assassinated. So like, I don't know how those.
So
What do you
Wild
think
West.
a government shutdown means?
Yeah.
Listen. But like I always ask her, I'm like, so how's this going? And she just sends me pictures, like gifs of just fire. And she's like, this is pretty much how it is. And I was like, that's great. She keeps joking about like, I'm moving to Canada, fuck this. And I was like, I mean,
Probably couldn't get
can
into
you even?
immigration.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, can you even leave right now? Technically, she's like, no.
It's gotta be
Like,
weird,
what?
like, especially for people who work at government. Like,
Yeah,
Well,
like
you
what?
heard about the IRS, right?
No. I
Well-
heard about the postal workers
Yeah.
and like
So
federal
there's
workers
so
that,
so
like, are
TSA workers, like 10% of every single TSA worker is just not showing up to work.
10%.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
Out of all of them
That's
are
a
just
lot.
not
Which is
showing up at
that's-
all.
That's not bad, though, considering that they're not getting paid.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Exactly.
considering the circumstances, like
Yeah, I was
get
expecting
it.
more, honestly.
yeah, 10%
But-
of volunteers are no longer showing up.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing is that fucked me up though is the fact that they were like, "Oh no, what about tax season coming up?" Don't worry, the good boys of the IRS are forced back to work with no pay.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So our taxes will be done, guys, but not ours. But you know what I
I'm
mean.
glad they have that system in place.
Yeah. To force people back to work with no
They
pay.
were like, "What happens if the government is shut down during tax season?" And no one was like, "Oh, that'll never happen." They were immediately like, "Well, we have to force them back to work."
Yep. Pretty much.
When
But-
this happens.
So they don't get their compensation at the end of this, do they?
No, I don't think they get paid
Like,
retro.
all of their money is canceled.
Really,
Yeah, they don't get paid retro.
that is disastrous.
Yeah, that's. Why else do you think
Yeah.
people are just not showing up? Because
That's
like,
a
there's no
fist
point.
right in the ass of the
There's
whole
people
economy,
like-
isn't it? Like that's
Quinn, you don't understand.
If the better part of 1 million people haven't been paid for their jobs for a month.
Yeah.
Their rent for this month.
Quinn,
What is-
their
but like,
money
so
for this
government
month, like their
workers-
food
what
for
is
this
government
month.
hap-
workers
Yo,
who
like,
are
what is
working
happening
government
to this
jobs.
money?
No, it's just not getting paid.
It's just
There's
not-
no money. There's no money to pay them. That's what the shutdown is.
No, wait, what?
Okay, so
We're
do you know what?
getting into
Do you know
deep
what?
economics.
Okay, so quick 101 crash on economics for a shutdown. So every year the government has to allot money in a budget to
Yes.
give you things.
Yes.
So that budget has run out.
That's why the government shut down?
Yes, that is the partial government shut because they're like, we're not giving money to end the shutdown because I want money for a border wall. And they're like, but what about all these other things? So there's literally no money to pay them.
Oh.
There should be.
I thought he shut down the government because he was pissed because he wanted the wall.
He did.
But it was so the timing.
It's just the timing of it was horrendous.
It's that he was able to do it because this is the
Yes.
time when they do the allocation. I
Exactly.
see.
So there's no funds allocated to pay these people. So that's why they're not getting paid retro. Because if they were going to be paid retro, it'd be like, okay, I want to have, I don't know, throwing a number out there, I want $4 billion to Postal. It's like, okay, but you also need an extra $1 billion to pay them all for the time they worked. And they're not going to do that because that time's gone and passed. Who cares? It sucks. Absolutely.
That is-
But that's just how it is.
Well, it's truly insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's also insane is that now take this with a grain of salt that we're all four white dudes living in a pretty isolated rock in the
In a
Atlantic
completely
Ocean.
different
in a
country.
completely different country.
Entirely unrelated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have no impact on us.
Are you done?
I guess so.
So our like
Don't whistle. Don't patronize me.
our positing on like the government
Big old
shutdown.
cough incoming. I didn't even have to cough. I'm just throwing that in there. I feel like it's gonna pay for one later.
Okay.
Finish your thought.
Our positing on the government shutdown doesn't really come from a place of understanding like United States government in practice. But I think as adults who have some semblance of common sense, we can all say, "Hey Trump, what the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
Right?
That's why anytime like I talk to my friend about it, I'm like, can you like enlighten me on this? And I've learned some fun things. Like, for example, I was like, why did this happen anyway? And she just straight up said to me like, it's immigration control. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, he literally,
And then-
literally just wants to build a wall.
Oh, it gets worse.
No.
So because of the shutdown, guess what gets affected?
Immigration?
Immigration and border security.
And it just...
Like TSA. So because he wants better border security,
He fucks
he's putting border security at risk.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Fucking sense does this make?
All to fund the fucking racism wall he had 2 years to do, and just sat on his ass. And now he lost the Congress and has to throw a fucking tantrum and jeopardize a million people's lives.
Buy a bunch of fast food.
Oh my
Oh,
god, I love that.
man.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Honest to God, though, I liked that. That was just good. Like, I know it was bad,
That reminded
but
me
to
of
me,
that-
like outside looking in, that was just great.
I'll just say that I don't think Idiocracy is a particularly clever movie, and I don't think takes on it are usually very useful. But the comparisons of him standing over all those burgers in the White House are very like you cannot see the similarity.
No,
of
it's
those.
hard.
It reminded me of the Kingsman movie when
Oh,
Samuel L. Jackson
yeah.
gets Colin Firth over. He's just like he's
Have
got like
some
the silver
McDonald's.
platter. He lifts it up and it's just Big Macs
It's
and
just
shit.
Big Macs.
Yeah, and he's just like, "This is the best burger. It's best food. Fine dining right here."
Like, Trump will go down as one of the most culturally dividing presidents ever.
I think that's what hurts me the most about this.
Is that even when it's over?
Like even when it's over,
Even when it's
never
over, we'll never
over.
forget. We're
No.
never gonna forget.
Like people are gonna have to like go to class and be like, "We're gonna learn history today," and they're gonna have to talk about all
Maybe
of
we will
this.
forget.
No, we
Do you
won't.
think you'd be?
They won't let us.
I'm just trying to pitch a hypothetical here. All of America bands together and they're like, "Hey, do you want to just like
Nah.
never talk about this?"
Well, I mean, hey,
And everyone agrees.
That's morally.
you want to know what the number one rule in war is, Quinn? History is written by the victors. So whoever wins, you never know.
That's a
very true.
terrible, very boring saying.
But it's also disturbingly true.
I've never seen it used in a piece of media that I thought was good. I think that's my main problem with it.
Probably.
I'm genuinely spooked though because like George Bush Sr. died recently, and there are a lot of people who are like, "Oh, he was very good, actually." And I'm afraid the same thing's gonna happen to Donald Trump in 20 years. People will be like, "Well, compared to this guy, at least he understands respect in business or something." I don't know. They'll come up with some bullshit.
Yeah, not like
Well, people.
not like President Michael
people-
Cera like we have now.
People die for like Reagan, but he implemented neoliberalist policies.
Oh yeah, Reagan was. He put
fucked
the
social
fucking,
assistance.
He put the fucking nails in the coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still fucking suffering from that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and people are like, "Oh, Reagan, what a classy gentleman." Sure, he might have what you think is class, but he ruined the lives of millions.
Let's not forget Tricky Dick. Let's never forget Tricky Dick.
Tricky Dick.
Well, see, I wonder if at the time Tricky Dick seemed the same way of like, oh my god, this guy's a moron.
Well, I
and they're
mean-
running a sideshow.
Yeah.
Well, we also need to like remember that he is the first president in the digital age that was like
He's the first president who's tweeting his every thought at 3 a.m.
true.
Which
True.
is just
Which sounds like a good thing, but it isn't.
no.
Hassan Minaj did a killer bit in the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I think last year.
That must have been rough.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was an interesting.
Was it the same one where Michelle Wolf?
Yeah, Michelle Wolf
did
was
one?
the most recent one, wasn't she?
No, that wasn't the same year. It was the year before.
Michelle Wolf did the most recent one.
Yeah,
when
okay,
I
that
was
was
the
last
first one.
year. Yeah, okay. No, you're right.
And his bit was simply, we now have a president that tweets at 3 a.m. while sober. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of president they elected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Can we pour a drink for Nancy Pelosi though?
yeah. Sure,
God
man.
damn.
Though, yeah, at the same
I love
time.
her. I don't love her. I love the tenacity.
I just
That's
don't.
true.
I just
I love
don't know
her.
there's any good politicians in the United States anymore.
I at least thank her
AOC.
ability
AOC.
when the
Right. president
makes some shitty offer on his racism wall. I do appreciate at least the fact that Pelosi can be like, "Fuck no."
Yeah. I love how like everything he does, like shit won't even start yet, and she's just like non-starter. I don't give a fuck, and I'm like, what?
Thank goodness.
And I loved how he had his he had his address for like please get the border wall please, and then right at the end of it like Chuck and Nancy are just standing there like just disappointed parents.
Oh, I've seen that image go around.
And they're
so
just
much.
they literally look like that fucking picture. What's the that
American
picture?
Gothic.
Yeah, American Gothic. They look exactly like American Gothic, just standing there. Like, we're not mad. We're just disappointed. We're not only mad, we're also disappointed. But yeah, no, I always get like messages from my friend, and she's just like, what the fuck?
I have family friends that live down in Florida, and they are conservatives, and I think I've talked about them.
Yeah, you have
a couple times now. Highly educated people, very kind people, but they're staunch conservatives.
Mm.
Like
Are they Trump conservatives?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're not blatantly racist, but they're not seeing how.
Subtle racist, I see.
I don't think it's even subtle racist. I think it's like choosing to believe that their party doesn't have racist tendencies,
Fair enough.
Mhm.
and they're choosing to believe that liberalists have
So not
dictatorship
Without
and
a-
like Big Brother tendencies.
for lack of a better term, ignorant. That may be a little bit far, but you know what I mean.
But
Yeah.
I think a better way to describe it is like living in a glass house.
Cool. All right.
Right? They're living in the glass house of far right conservative like mindsets.
Hmm.
Now, the guy that we know, he's a big pot stirrer. Like he's gonna post like nothing blatantly outrageous, but something that's like it's an
Yeah.
uncomfortable take.
He posts to trigger the libs.
Oh, 100%. But he
Wow.
also triggers like the conservatives too, right?
Oh, okay.
Like he's a well-educated
He's
man.
one of
He
them
is the,
self-hating conservatives.
He is the truly woke. He is the centrist poster.
Yeah.
We must trigger both sides.
But his wife is a very far-leaning, very very wise woman, very staunch woman, but she really does try and consume conservative media first, and you can tell. Right? Like with the recent Native American protester and the MAGA protesters clashing.
No way. Don't tell me they haven't taken this other than that guy should be punched in the face.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
They do. Because they want to see the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole story, to me,
The whole story is that the guy's
Doesn't-
also a non-veteran.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean,
like he's a Native American. If you're gonna honestly tell me that
you lose.
come
already.
on,
You've already lost.
come on, guys. Like
Anything else you add on top of it's just fucking...
conservatives, liberals, apoliticals, we all fucked over the Native American population.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't get any worse than that.
And then he's a non-veteran.
Done. Game, set,
Like,
and match.
come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Like he
the
fought for a nation that didn't recognize his.
conservative playbook.
So
Respect
fuck.
veterans.
And they lost.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They fought a war in a country that was. I just can't get into it.
No.
I can't get into it.
No,
like,
I know.
there's no point.
No point.
But still, like a protester, like he was protesting, and his in his culture.
Mhm.
Right, he was protesting, and the white protesters, the MAGA protesters, like they didn't have anything but disdain or judgment.
Like right out the gate too.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even care. They were just like, "What the fuck? You're not white."
Yeah. Now I will say this: I'm friends with a buddy from high school. He's very far left leaning, like radically left, and he then decides to comment on a thread and be like, "Yeah, man, I'd love to take a hammer right to that guy's face." And I'm like, "Come on!"
Hammer's a little extreme, and I don't condone punching kids, but that kid is the most punchable face
He does
I've
have.
maybe ever seen.
He has a punchable face, but he's not.
I would punch that kid.
I would too.
I would probably punch him. Hammer's a bit extreme. That's kind of like
That's
gruesome,
that's
you know?
that's like murder.
I would do like the Buzz Aldrin to a moon
Moon landing
denier.
There's a clip
That
going around on
punch.
Twitter because it's Buzz Aldrin's birthday. It was like, let's all remember the time Buzz Aldrin punched a moon landing denier.
Oh, it's good,
Oh,
and he's like
cool.
92.
The dude
So
just,
like,
the dude just runs up to Buzz Aldrin and is like, well, you're a liar and a coward and you never... And he just clocks him. Like, he doesn't
and
even...
Buzz Aldrin's like fucking ancient too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just
Oh,
like
yeah. Was this recent?
no, this is like 2 years ago maybe, but like
That's like
pretty recent.
pretty
Yeah.
recent compared to 1969.
Oh yeah.
Holy moly.
Just like some dude, and he's just like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
and you can see the look in his face too. He has no fucking regrets. He's just like, motherfucker, I did not leave the grips of this fucking planet and come back and live just to have you tell me I didn't.
Snowflake ass.
Yeah.
Just to hear you tell me that I
do
didn't.
that in a 1969 tin bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
I didn't get a movie made out of me with Ryan fucking Gosling to have you tell me that I didn't do this.
Like,
Yeah.
what purpose does it serve
Yeah, what do you
to
gain?
be like, no, we didn't land there? Like,
What do you gain?
we all
It's the
know,
start.
we all know that the moon race was a political dick showing contest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's no other reason for it. Now, NASA needs more funding because,
Now it's like viable.
well,
I mean, fuck, we're
well,
toast either way.
one-
We need this.
one, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
One, exploring space, like, expand the frontier, man.
That's it.
Expand the frontier. Two, space minerals.
You just had the happiest little smile.
Space minerals, because
Jacob just had the happiest little smile on his face.
I just
You
wanted
were
to,
like, space minerals?
I just wanted to be an idiot for one thing. Just space minerals.
Yo, they found that meteorite that had THC. We can get the space weed.
No, but in all honesty, like, there's probably a lot of, like, energy possibilities that you could get.
Oh my god, yes,
From
100%. You could just fucking orbital elevators. Go for it.
Yeah. Whatever. It's always important to expand horizons, and, I think it's a huge question that we should answer as a species. Like, are we truly the only life that's, like, expanding out or something like that? Now, statistically, I think there's gotta be more.
Fermi paradox, dude.
Yep.
What's that?
It's I think what it boils down to is if there's so much infinite space and so much infinite potential for another place to have intelligent life, how come we haven't seen it? And how come they haven't seen us?
There's also the zoo theory.
What's that?
The zoo theory, which is basically like,
We're just being watched like
yeah,
the zoo?
like we're not ready.
Oh, like
So
Hitchhiker's
they
Guide
know
to the
we
Galaxy.
exist. And like they don't want us. They don't. It's kind of like Star Trek when Star Trek figures out like they go to.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, and
They're not ready and they don't.
They're not
interact,
ready
right?
and they don't interact. They
here's my
observe.
problem with that. Is it makes a lot of assumptions on the similarities between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only does it assume that they can view us,
Oh no!
but it assumes that they can interpret the things we do and what they need.
Yeah.
I understand,
and that's why it's just a theory.
Yeah. Hey, shut the fuck up, John. I'm going back to space minerals.
Oh man, kind of. I want to, like, I maybe I missed like the point of the paradox, but you said like
Well, it's just
with
that...
the infinite space and the infinite like opportunities,
Right.
like why haven't we had contact?
Yeah.
Is that like the basic
I think
premise?
so.
It's
But
just
I
one of
feel-
those things. It's like things can be as statistically likely as you want, but you know, if it hasn't, it's still like it hasn't happened.
I
You know?
think it's impossible to appreciate how unlikely humans evolving on a planet is because we exist. We skew our understanding of how impossibly improbable.
Well, I
it
mean,
is.
I don't even think it's a matter of we understand that we think that we think that any other life form could be like us. It's just that it's not even like a thing as like people would think of it, but the human brain, like, it looks for things they recognize. It always searches for patterns.
Yeah.
So like maybe we literally as a species are not like they're not capable of comprehending anything else other than what we know on our planet that we've seen. Sort of like a crazy, you know, fucking H.P. Lovecraft shit where it's like
That's
you look
true.
in the Necronomicon, you just lose your mind immediately by looking
could
at it
almost
because
be
your brain
different
just
because
can't comprehend it.
our senses only came to be so that we could like run around and like fuck and eat animals and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still at that level.
Literally.
Yeah. Let's go talk about Lovecraft for a little bit. Truly, Cthulhu, one of the most terrifying things ever created in my mind.
Yeah?
I'm truly terrified of the possibility of Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
so terrifying.
What do
Mostly,
you mean the possibility of Cthulhu? There's no possibility.
No.
Of Cthulhu.
no,
Just
it's
the
not an actual
concept.
possibility, but
Just the concept.
the concept
Yeah.
of Cthulhu.
Of just
Right,
something
that's
that like
clear.
you would look at it and your brain just cannot comprehend it and you're just broken.
Yeah, like you're
Immediately.
You're just done.
Have you
Right?
played Bloodborne?
No.
Yeah.
You should. It goes in that territory.
Where literally everything you fight is like a fucking H.P. Lovecraft horror and you're just like, no.
Not a good plan.
There's an insight stat that lets you'll start seeing things and hearing things. I think you must gain something, but then it also makes you more susceptible to insanity.
Mm.
Oh, God.
Wait, what?
You
Oh,
know,
it's part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's part of real life.
It's
You guys
like,
want me to
what?
take you on a real curveball from this?
Mm.
H.P. Lovecraft, the actual dude, he's a fucking tool.
Yeah.
Like, through and through.
No
He was
shit.
a racist loser. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that he would be an incel poster online if he lived today.
Oh, 100%. Are you
He
serious?
hated
Have you read
everyone.
one of his books?
I mean, he hated individual groups for their traits, but he also just kind of hated everyone around him.
yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Wow. That sucks.
Something to be said for hating everyone, though. Like,
Having
indiscriminately.
have no discriminations on hate.
Yeah.
Mm.
That freaking sucks, though.
Yeah,
It's like
well,
a literary icon.
It does. Yeah,
I can't
it
believe-
does well.
That's the thing, man. Shit gets old, and then it sucks. That's a fact of life.
I can't believe you pulled a Kevin Spacey before Kevin Spacey.
What?
Well, I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he hurt anybody.
Didn't Kevin Spacey like have like a court hearing recently?
yeah.
How did that go?
He also had a creepy as fuck Christmas video.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
was some fuck.
Yeah, that was
Didn't like that.
that was an early Christmas non-present.
My question is,
Want
who in their right mind was like, yeah, I'll shoot something with Kevin Spacey right now?
I don't think anyone did.
I saw a great Twitter joke that was
Let's be real, I don't think anyone did. That was
It
shoddy
was,
workmanship at its
It's
best.
probably just him.
it was Kevin Spacey says, "So you're saying I just filmed this video in character, explain myself, and things will go great." District attorney wearing a fake mustache. Let's do this.
Got it.
nice.
Nice.
He like that. Like I know, like Jian Gomeshi was like a big blow for Canada,
Ugh. Yeah.
right? Like
I
that.
almost forgot about him.
Yeah. Let's not forget about.
Yeah,
that.
let's not forget
Let's
about
never
that.
forget about him. But for me, like I wasn't super into Jian Gomeshi, right? And I didn't really care about Harvey Weinstein because like I didn't really know who the guy was. I just watched like a bunch of movies that his production company was a part of.
Yeah.
But fuck that guy. But for me, the more like prominent example of harassment, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Spacey, it was, and like just because he's gross doesn't mean he's not good at what he did.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
The idea of you do not, in fact, gotta hand it to him?
Yeah.
Because I had a human relations course today that was all about charisma, and I was waiting for someone to bring up Hitler, and be like, wow, great leader, terrible dude. And at this point, it's kind of like, there are a lot of great leaders that you could choose as an example. We don't have to go to this one anymore. It's fine.
I'm saying...
I mean, I do get what you're saying.
But-
Because Kevin Spacey is a present example. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I was super into Kevin Spacey movies.
Mhm.
You know? He was a real
Like,
I mean, he's a
guy.
good actor.
Like, let's watch House of Cards, season 1, season
Let's watch
2.
Baby Driver.
Yeah.
It's a 7
Baby Driver.
even.
It's a 7.
Phenomenal work.
Play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Oh,
Yeah, don't
okay, yeah.
I'm kidding.
That was the first time.
Yeah. Yikes. But he's still good at what he did. Not
He's
to be
not good.
commended. Not a good dude.
He's a good actor.
He has a skill, but that skill does not triumph over the fact that he is a bad dude.
Yeah, that's like saying, like, you know, fucking Vlad the Impaler, like, murdered millions of people, but he was a great cook.
Yeah.
Like, he made a mean fucking
Goulash.
roast leg or whatever they had back in the day.
Just roast leg.
Yeah.
Of anything.
Well, I mean, he
He's
impaled...
really connoisseur
back
of
in the-
roast leg.
Well, fun history fact, Quinn. Back in the day, when they would impale the heads, they used the whole body.
What?
So they wouldn't waste the rest of the body. They would
Impale
impale the head, but they would use the rest
whole
of the body.
Really, we could learn something. Then.
Yeah,
Some
we really could learn
responsible,
Yeah.
When you impale the head, use the whole body.
No, they would impale the head,
When you
and then they would take
impale
the body,
head,
and then they would like maybe roast the leg, maybe use the arm for clothing or
They
something
would
like
wear the
that.
skin.
They wear the skin. Yeah.
Hey, yikes.
they would use the fingernails.
Use the whole body.
toothpicks.
Oh, didn't like that one.
Yeah, it didn't
Didn't like
anyone-
that one.
Trying to make John regret bringing us down this road.
You will never make me regret anything.
I figured.
I will die on this rock.
I figured now after there's been a few of these over the last few years. You know, I think it's a part of growing up now, especially
Mm-hmm.
is just reconciling these things. And there's like, there's some takeaways like of course you can appreciate their stuff that you've seen, but then in terms of what should you do, I guess
I'm never going to see a Kevin Spacey movie again. Because
yeah.
there probably won't be another
Yeah, I was
Kevin
gonna
Spacey
say I
movie.
don't think you'll have that
But if
issue.
he does come back, I won't support.
In the
movie.
world we live in, it's financial support is the biggest thing you can give. So if you don't give money to something that's supporting him, that's something.
Mm.
I figure with people like him too. The other thing is like, I would say, not even say, completely unapologetically.
Louis C.K.
Louis
and-
C.K.
Oh,
is
God,
just-
stop.
Yeah, let's be clear that like this is
Yeah.
each thing. There's a conversation with Louis C.K. He should not be going back at it. He should go fuck himself. Honestly.
Yeah, no.
Go away.
Like, I mean, if
He
you're gonna
kinda-
go back at it, not this soon.
You kind of
No,
did the
I-
Ricky
like-
Gervais thing. Like, it seemed
Not the
like
suit at
all of
all.
a sudden, like, I've watched his stand-up in the past, and I've enjoyed it. But all of a sudden, all of his current takes have turned to shit, and it's made all of his old stuff, it just shows it in this new light that
Yeah.
makes it all real
Yeah,
yucky
that's
to
the
turn
thing.
back
His
to.
past stuff has aged terribly now,
Mhm.
and yeah, his new stuff is worse. Like I've seen a little bit of his new stuff, and it's just worse. It's much more.
I don't know.
Fuck you! I don't care.
I don't
about
know
your
if I
opinion.
brought this up on the pod or not. But I was watching Eddie Murphy's Delirious. Oof.
Did it age well?
Oh fuck no! The first 5 minutes, like no joke, literally the first joke he said, like he walked out on stage. Mind you, this was like Eddie Murphy in 1983, maybe.
Do not use slurs.
I won't. But he was like, he straight up was like right at the front row, and everyone was like cheering him. It was just like, thank you so much. And he's just like, if we have any slur for a gay person in the 80s in the front row, you can't applaud. I don't want any slur for the gay person in the 80s in my shows. And I was like, whoa!
Yay!
Literally in the first 2 minutes, and I was just like,
What the fuck?
Dr. Doolittle coming in hot!
and the fuck thing is, I remember watching
Gross.
Delirious back in like way back, and I thought it was hilarious. I was watching it on Netflix. I was like, shit. I was like, oh man, I haven't seen Delirious in forever. And the first 5 minutes, I was like, whoa, I can't watch this thing. And I stopped it right there. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh no.
It's like we've changed a lot for the better. I will argue that because when I look back at the things that I used to laugh at, I think like, whoa, this is not good.
Yeah.
Because I all of us, white, straight, cisgender dudes, world is our oyster, and in our socialization, we basically learn to use slurs, right? Like
I mean, we
almost
grew
all
up in the
of my
2000s.
male role models use the R word, no sweat.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard male role models use gay derogatory. Now, I haven't heard, role models use the slurs we're all thinking of.
Quick tangent train. I love that, like, there was, like, a post I seen a while ago where it was just, like, back in the day, everyone's using the word gay and it's okay. And then it's, like, a couple years ago where people were like, everyone's saying the word gay and it's not good. And then it's, like, today, the kids are saying gay again, but it's in a good way now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's like they're saying gay, but they don't mean it in a bad way this time.
it's like queer. It's been reclaimed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do a post-pod talk about that word
Cool.
later.
Cool.
But yeah, going back to what I said, like, discrimination and stereotyping and privilege were all socialized in us, and it's crazy to think about the kind of stuff that, like, we could get away with.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, I vividly remember using the R word in class, like, to describe something that I thought was outrageous, and my teacher wasn't like, get out.
Yeah.
I remember a teacher making a big deal out of it in junior high.
Yeah.
Or some similar word and being like, that's weird. No one's ever gotten mad about this before. I don't think that this makes sense.
I think my favorite was when I think someone like called someone in like I think it was like grade 8 or something. I don't mind saying it because it's an actual thing, a douchebag.
Yeah.
And like I remember it was the most fucking baller thing ever. My teacher was just like, "Do you know what that is?" And he just grabbed a health book and was just like, and he was like, "Read it out. What is it? What's it used for, bro?"
He just
and I was just
sunned
like,
him.
"Whoa!"
He sunned them.
What a power play.
That is a power play.
And like he had to have done it before because I remember how fucking quick he knew what page. He knew immediately.
yeah,
He's like, "There's the book."
We have changed a lot for the better, and that is good. It's coming at a heavy price because I have a current prof
Oh yes, we talked about this.
that is still
hot takes left, right,
still
center.
like is struggling to wrap his head around the fact that you're not supposed to call people Orientals.
Oh my goodness.
And I
Oh
am,
my god, that's like
That's like 40 years behind.
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
olds.
I
Damn.
am struggling not to just start roasting this dude in the middle of this class.
I don't blame
I
you.
can feel it coming on. My new thing is I just get up and leave. He was reaching the end of his class the other day and he just started, I can't remember what it was about, but he just started ranting and I was like, this is not gonna end. So I stood up, I turned to the guy behind me and I was like, I'm just gonna leave. And he was like, yeah, you're smart.
I remember in high school, I think I might have been in grade 10 or 11, not grade 12. I remember...
Okay. That's what I was worried about.
Crap, man. I remember talking to a couple of my buddies on the basketball team and complaining about like political correctness, and everyone's like, "That's not politically correct." And I had such an old, outdated take. I was like, "Man, I don't give a shit about political correctness. I should be able to say what I want." But then I realized that within that was something that was ingrained that I can say whatever I want and not be penalized for it because of where I come from.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't realize that until...
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah! Comes at you fast and hard.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
And I hear, like, I generalize and I'm gonna group people. Like, I hear older people, like, let's use my grandfather, or some professional people, and they still struggle with the concept of political correctness. They can be like, okay, whatever, but their caveat is, I just don't get it. And for me, I don't understand how they don't get it, because it's it's pretty well laid
omnipresent
out
now.
now.
Yeah, it's pretty omnipresent.
Reminds me of a thing I was thinking around Halloween, because you might know where this is headed.
Probably.
That every Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
you have to dig out these fucking.
Is it racist?
Every Halloween
Is it
I go
racist
directly to
flowchart?
sleep at these fucking debates.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just don't wear the costume.
Just don't.
My
do
point
it.
is-
just don't. Please.
Is that I had a thought of when people might think, like, I know myself personally, I did not hear any of this discussion when I was wearing Halloween costumes. It's only been the last 5 years. But something I thought I had was that maybe maybe a part of this information age is that we now have access to everybody's thoughts on stuff. And before that wasn't the case. And what that means is that maybe these costumes were always hurting people. And
But we weren't so interconnected.
we just could not see it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
now there is no
realistically-
excuse, and you're going to know.
Yeah.
That's everyone's so offended is you've been doing things that upset a lot of people.
Well, think
always,
about it. If
and
you
now
wore
they see it.
if
and
you
have
wore
to
an
deal with
offensive
that.
costume back in the day, people wouldn't catch wind of it until like 3 days later, and by that point it's already
Exactly.
passed.
Well,
So
really,
so
only-
realistically, there's like almost, I mean, to some degree, there's not really any point in getting upset over it. It's past and
Because
over.
It's past.
and only the
But
people
in
in
the
your
moment-
presence are gonna see it.
Exactly. But in the moment, and it's posted on social media, everyone can see it, and everyone can react to it in real time.
Yeah,
and it will be there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like back in the olden times, if you saw it in the store, if you're just out looking for a costume and you see it in the store and it bothers you, like, and you can't tweet, all you can really do is mutter to yourself angrily.
Exactly. And that's what it all boiled down to, I think. Now everyone's just able to do it, and that's the biggest thing, is that it's there forever.
Yeah.
For fucking ever.
I have a thought about the olds.
Okay.
And the whole like I just don't get it thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, so one like modern day topic thing that like gender and sexuality identity stuff
That debate is
here's
changing
the thing.
quicker than what I want to
that can
eat.
be a
Yeah.
very very deep dive if you want to understand it all, and I don't. Which is like, to me, it reaches the point, and my brain is like, Quinn, don't become an old and just be incapable of understanding. I think it's fine to not understand it. You just gotta support it. And, you just gotta be like, alright, I've tried, I don't get it.
Well, what I say to people is I don't understand X insofar as I am Y. Like, I don't understand transgenderism insofar as the fact that I am cisgendered.
Yeah.
You should have the right to be transgendered. You should have the space to be transgendered. You should have the ability to be transgendered. You should not be prevented from being transgendered. Does that mean I understand being transgender? Absolutely not. Because I, as a cisgendered man, will never know what it's like to be a transgender man.
Exactly.
It's very easy. It's very easy to just believe what someone says and then not be an asshole.
No.
Because that's an interesting point, because I've heard some pundits, whoever you want to call it, say, but how do they know? Or like, are they telling the truth?
Yes.
And it doesn't matter in
Why
this
can't you just
situation.
fucking take it at
What
face
does-
value?
What does it matter if
Fucking-
one individual or or an entire community is deciding, hey, I want to be transgendered? What does that have anything to do with your actual life? Until, and heaven forbid this happens,
Yeah.
transgenderism starts coming at cisgenderism in an aggressive, overwhelming way,
Yeah.
which, spoiler alert, it won't, because we're in a heteronormative space. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. It's not gonna happen, man.
It's not going to happen.
Like,
They're
there's
still a
there
marginalized group.
probably won't be an uprising.
Yeah.
No! None of these people that I've met who are transgender have any political implications of
As
taking
long as
down.
As long as you're just... I've said this a million times.
Fucking.
I've said it a million times. Just
If you have a platform to do good, you have a
Responsibility to do it. Right? Logan Paul?
Said it 1,000.
And.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that. But no, I'm just saying, like, fucking, as long as you're not hurting anyone, man, fuck it, do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. You're literally not hurting anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going out of your way to be like, oh, fuck this, and you're not being aggressive and like, oh, I don't like this person. You just want to live your goddamn life. Do it, whatever.
I just want people to be able to live their best life.
That's right. Fucking just live your life,
Absolutely.
man. Like, whatever.
Until someone cisgendered, transgendered, gay, straight, non-binary, gender fluid, until one party comes at another to harm or negate
Yeah.
or take away from another group,
And let's be
do
real.
what you want.
This is literally all, and like to the most extent, most of that stuff is pretty much just about caring about something. And I don't think you can come from a place of hate about love. You know what I mean?
No.
Like that's the literal opposite of it. It's like you can't be like, I love this, so because I'm going because of this, I'm going to hate this. You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's not like a.
John is just dropping gospel here tonight. I
I don't know.
freaking love it.
I'm just saying. You
Preach,
can't.
homie.
Preach, homie.
I think one thing though that where it's like allowing something turns that is that a lot of people feel defensive and get aggressive because I don't know why, because they don't feel like they don't understand. They feel like they're having something demanded of them that they can't like. What really bugs me these days is the assumption that feminists, LGBT people are easily offended and are going to get pissed at you for saying the wrong thing, or got the meme, did you assume my gender? Which is just like a myth. Like, could you ever even imagine that situation actually happening in real life? You really can't, but I think a lot of people can because they have this image
Literally.
Do you
constructed
know?
I
for
can't
them
even-
of the easily offended feminist.
I can't even take that meme as a joke anymore.
Do you
Because my
know?
friend who is trans does it all the goddamn time.
Exactly.
And I hate it. Like I can't even take it as a meme or a joke because she does it all the time. She's like, "You just assume my gender." I'm like, "Shut up. Just shut up." Fuck you.
Trans person taking it back is extremely good because when I hear it, it's dudes, and it's like when you tell a joke like that, like all jokes that people tell come with some sort of assumptions, and you connect with someone. You're forming an in-group based on something you agree upon.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, you're saying, yeah, there are these people that exist that are easily offended, and they'll just say, did you just assume my gender and get pissy for no reason? Aren't they crazy?
Yeah.
When they simply don't, like, you couldn't imagine someone lashing out like that because you asked, like, I figure most people would just, like,
Accept
not
it.
say anything and be frightened. I don't know. I've been... literally, you guys see how long my hair is? I've been misgendered. As a cis person, it's much easier to deal with because no one's going to get upset back at me if I tell them, did you just call me a woman?
Yeah.
But it's more of a like it makes you uncomfortable. But it doesn't make people lash out. It makes them uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
And it's I forget where I was going with this.
It's just
Did
it's
you
just
assume
hot garbage to assume that, you know, if you say something, one group of people is just going to get mad at you. It's hot garbage.
It's the worst.
Don't characterize an entire group of people by their actions of maybe one radical case.
I don't like the fact of just being like, you know what, like, don't assume that everyone's just like the worst type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Like people look at this is a horrible example. Like people are like, oh, Star Wars fans. It's just like, oh no, because they immediately look at the worst parts.
Well, that's
Because
right.
the
That's what
worst
people
parts-
do.
That's your-
right?
The worst parts is the most notable ones because no one ever talks about the good stuff they do because
Yeah.
And I'm sure
sadly the bad outweighs the good here. Like
the YouTube, like the literal YouTube numbers on the Gillette video were overwhelmingly negative, surprisingly. Like extremely disliked. The comments are a dumpster fire. But I'm willing to believe that of the actual population that watched it, the majority actually really appreciated it.
yeah,
Like, you know, like the positivity does exist.
it does.
Yeah.
It's
Not
just
to
the
say that the
negativity is
yeah,
Not to say
way.
the negativity shouldn't be considered and shouldn't be...
No, but
Like,
it's
faced.
just easier to
Yeah.
find.
It's very easy.
The positive,
Like, the negativity
is
comes
never-
with a greater compulsion to, speak out with those feelings. And there's also, like, the kind of people that see the Gillette stuff
That's
and
true.
would get mad. They're more the kind of person
If you,
that need the online validation.
that's a
I don't
really
like
good
this,
point.
people must know. Ah!
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So if you watch something you like, what do you do?
I mean, at most, you like it.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
and at
But if you
least-
see something you don't like, what do? You tell people about it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't say, like, oh man, I saw this, it was good.
I will say this just to like tie this up in a bow. I have used "Did you just assume my gender?" with people, insofar as doing it to kind of say the practice of assuming gender is so not a part
No.
of equality, and it's such a radical thing to do.
You, the point.
Exactly. People that get caught up on, the example of "Did you just assume my gender?" They're missing the whole point of equality.
And it's like I was talking about how you make the joke and that assumes like a connection and an assumption and an in-group thing is that. So when most people say it, "Did you assume my gender?" as a joke, they mean that other thing. But like I could say it around maybe us or some people. I would say, "Did you just assume my gender?" And you know that when I say it, I'm making fun of someone who thinks that thing
Yeah.
without even having to explain it. And it's like when people say that jokes are just jokes, that's so incredibly
Jokes aren't just
deceptive
jokes.
and malicious.
There's nothing that you can say that does not have social meaning.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, come on.
the reason comedians get so pissed when people are offended at their jokes is because when people aren't offended, it's so easy, and when they are, you're done. Like, you're toast, because you need to laugh at what someone's saying, you kind of need to trust them in a sense.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching a risky comedian,
Joe
like
Rogan.
Joe Rogan, like when I'm watching Joe Rogan, the reason there's this tension, and I'm afraid to laugh, is because he'll make a joke, and I'll be like, are you making the joke because you think this thing? Like,
Or are you, and then he says something opposite.
And he's
you're
like, "Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot." And I'm like, "That's a bad caveat, man."
Yeah, don't.
Like, to the
I paid to see this.
Yeah.
to the comedians who can walk that line well, there's a huge amount of respect.
Yeah,
of
Joe
them,
Rogan
'cause-
walks that line very well because he acknowledges, like, I'm an idiot. There's people that are out there way smarter than me that have fuller opinions, more complex opinions.
I just have a really popular podcast.
Really popular podcast, really successful with the UFC, and I'm kind of charismatic.
It must be because he tried DMT.
What's DMT?
It's a brain drug. I don't know.
I was hoping you would go into like a. Well, John, DMT. This episode's brought to you by DMT.
Well,
The longest.
I think that's probably our best cast we've done in months. Gotta be
We
honest.
busted out a real one.
We
We
did.
did bust out a real one from I think we just dumped out our garbage in the first
We did.
take.
You know
We
what?
really just purged.
We really should do these early now and just get all the garbage out of the way.
Yeah, we should do a 30-minute garbage purge. Right, Quinn?
Alright, everybody look at me at the same time.
Because this
That's
isn't
cool.
even where we planned to
Unprompted.
go. We just rode the wave.
Yeah,
just
we rode it.
that wave, man. What?
Jacob's to shit in that chair more often. I like it.
You do?
Yeah. No, because I mean, this episode went really well and you're sitting in the chair.
Gotta do it.
Science says we gotta try it twice, see
That's
what
it, man.
happens.
We just gotta test it. Hypotheses. Let's go.
The math is there.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Jeez.
Our test group, our control group's here now.
yeah, pretty much.
Can't say
Control
one
group's here now. We just need the variable.
Yeah.
Can't say one fucking thing, man.
Well,
Yeah, one sentence gets dunked on forever.
you've listened to the Weekend Fan Club, and you're now what? An
You
hour?
have listened to the Weekend Fan Club.
Will
What are
you
your
get
next steps?
out of my face for like 2 minutes?
It's the end of the episode. I can say whatever I want now.
So you listen to the Weekend Fan Club. You might be feeling some things.
Hey, you listen to the Wicked Fan Club, you might be feeling some things. We went some places today, right?
Yeah.
Our Twitters are all in the thing.
Oh my god.
If you really want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
I'm
Follow
not
me.
saying, hey, come at me if you're angry. Or
I am.
mean,
Please.
Sure, come at me if you're angry.
at,
I love that.
at Cairo Gun.
But then if you even have a nuance,
whatever.
Slide into my DMs.
if you even have
Cairo
a,
Gun, Cairo Gin, Cairo Gin.
maybe you have a nuanced take or criticism. Maybe we
Yeah.
misspoke. Maybe there's some angle that we haven't considered.
Yeah,
Maybe we're
hit
being
us up.
hashtag problematic and don't know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm seeing someone right now, and she's really showing me a lot of like small little problematic ways that I didn't even notice, and I was just like, I'm a shitty dude.
Oh, man.
And I've like learned so much about it.
Just
That's
Like,
weird.
like,
we're all like,
Being
we're
with
all like,
someone more woke than you. That's interesting.
we're all literally sitting here like, yeah, if you want to tweet at us or go in the DMs. I just feel like it's gonna get really quiet and just. Please, we haven't talked to anyone in months.
we need this.
Please.
I also just dropped like a little wholesome bomb there, Dan. I was like, yeah, I'm just so appreciative of the new person I'm seeing and how
That's
she's
good.
addressing my
That's
problematic takes.
You just appreciate your own take.
Yeah, I did. Love
That's like
yourself,
liking your
Quinn.
own status.
You
That's
appreciate
not
your
cool.
own take about how unproblematic you're becoming?
Yeah,
Jesus,
because
you
I'm
wanna just
happy
stroke-
I'm
You
like
want to just
becoming.
stroke your dick a little more there, Jacob?
Well, you
Jesus
know
Christ.
what? It's 2019.
Hey, you know
It's
what?
2019.
Yeah.
We stroke our own dicks now.
We're not allowed to say, or we are allowed to say that we're doing good.
Yeah, that's right. We are allowed to say we're doing good because I'm happy I'm addressing some problematic things.
I
But
guess.
I didn't
It's just-
even notice.
You're on the podcast.
You know what, Quinn?
and
We're
you're
gonna
like-
talk about this
and
later.
you're like,
Okay?
not only do you go on your own podcast
Yeah.
and say I'm doing good, but then half a minute later you say I'm really proud that I just acknowledged that I'm doing good. Like, I think if you retreat any further up your own ass, it's gonna take us the whole episode.
Hey, Quinn.
Hey, Jacob.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Don't so show I. We'll come back to this.
Do we want to keep it rolling or do we want to pause
Absolutely.
it? Okay, we're gonna keep
The app has said confirming your order this whole time.
Really? It said your courier's arriving soon 4 minutes ago on my phone. Was it not sending it to both of us?
No,
Oh, sorry.
all I got was confirming your order for all time.
I'm still signed in as you on the skip.
I feel terrible. That poor lady is fucking drenched.
Oh.
Oh, that is awful.
Holy
Oh yeah, and
Jacob.
by the way, it was pissing
How
rain
could
on the
you
way here.
order to?
She was just like, it's okay, my coat's waterproof. And I was like, aw. Do you want a Pepsi?
Yeah, that's why I
I'll probably
ordered
get
the
some
Pepsi.
water.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we eating?
Here, let me get some water. Are you still
I
recording?
guess so, right?
Yes.
I feel bad. Right. What do you mean? Never feel guilt.
Do you want a Pepsi?
I thought you'd die on this rock, John.
Yeah, I thought you would die on this rock.
I'm dying on this rock right now.
I died on the rock and the rock got
Proud of you.
Yeah. You tried, but you failed.
Yeah, this is a good show, hey?
Yeah. I don't really like rewatching it.
It's got problems, but
It didn't age well in some spaces.
the way it expresses stuff is still something that I think is pretty unique to it. Like how it totally embraces a lot of nuance in people's facial expressions and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And like it's and some people said that the American one, as a thing of an American television, does more to kind of point at the joke. But I think by like American sitcom standards, it was pretty good at keeping a lot of subtleties in it.
yeah. Like, I'm enjoying watching it just for the sake of watching something, because it kind of feels like a TV show, but it also kind of just feels like a mockumentary series.
Nice.
Like it's a sitcom, but it doesn't have a very sitcom vibe. You know,
That's the
it doesn't
setup
feel
to it, right?
it doesn't feel like a New Girl or a Friends. You know,
Which
it
is
kinda
amazing,
Feels like
'cause-
its own thing.
Friends.
What are we talking
hot
about?
garbage.
The Office. The Office.
I friggin' hate Friends.
Do we want to circle back here?
Yeah, we were talking
I
about
was talking about something.
financial support.
Yes, so financial support, obviously, probably don't do that.